this video, I want to talk to you about childhood PTSD and, in a very PG-13 way, sex, and the sometimes fraught inner experience of childhood PTSD and the intense emotions, the attachment response, and the fear that can come up around all the little things that happen in a sexual and romantic relationship. Now, a lot of people who had early trauma, they function pretty well, usually around parenting, work, keeping their lives together. But it's really, really common for us to tip the whole thing over in the area of romantic relationships. So if that's something you relate to, I've got a thought to share with you about one big way to start moving things in a better direction. So if you know about brain dysregulation, people with childhood PTSD often start out with some odd wiring that makes our brain waves go way out of sync when something triggers us. And this dysregulation then can make us very emotional or non-emotional. It can make us impulsive. We might say things we don't mean or say yes to things we don't actually want. We could have an over-the-top rage reaction that hurts relationships. And we cling to relationships that are terrible sometimes because getting hurt in a relationship can be so paralyzing for us. And we sometimes unintentionally push good people away. And when we're dysregulated, it's instinctive to crave that which is going to help us re-regulate. When we're lonely, we crave connection. And when we're frazzled and struggling to pull ourselves together, we crave touch. It's like if we could just get a good, strong hug, we could calm down, we could think straight. And if we just had a partner, someone to be there for us and be supportive, it could make such a difference. And people with childhood PTSD who manage to get into a good, sturdy, loving relationship generally find it's very, very healing, including the sex part. But it takes a lot of luck to land in a good relationship when you're walking around dysregulated and reactive. We want the good relationship just like anybody. We have so much to gain by finding that. But a lot of us are instead locked into situations that take us away from that kind of relationship. And one of those actions that keep us away is sex. I think everybody can get their head in a fog over sex. That's normal. But for those of us with childhood PTSD, it can be something a little more derailing than that. If casual sex happens suddenly or with someone you don't know, what can happen is involuntarily you get all bonded with that person. You may not even like them, but you find that you can't leave. You could spend years of your life trying to tolerate some empty or abusive or unhappy relationship just because sex bonded you and your childhood PTSD won't let you leave. So how do we do that? How do we avoid this sand trap of our own attachment weirdness? And the answer is by approaching romantic relationships in a slow and structured way. My new course is all about how to do this, how to be clear, how to be slow, and how to be structured around dating and sex so you can delay the attachment response to a person while you check the situation out and get to know them. You can find out through lots of time together and communication, not hiding who you are, not avoiding hard questions, if they're the one for you. Now, saying that we should get more strict with ourselves around sex flies in the face of what a lot of people feel is core to their personal freedom. And you and everyone does, in fact, get to make your own choices. But if you have childhood PTSD and one of its manifestations has been a pattern of miserable relationships with people you either didn't really feel good about or who were unavailable or inappropriate for you, things like they're too old or too young or they're taken, they're in a relationship already with somebody else. If you have this pattern, just consider whether those relationships would have gone that far if you had not had sex with them so soon. Maybe normal people can just follow their passion. But maybe for some of us, the most direct path to true love and becoming fully ourselves is the slower path. It's old-fashioned, but it works.